So, you've just hired a new employee, right? That's a huge investment in talent. But what actually happens after they sign that offer? I'm talking about onboarding. And it's so much more than just a pile of paperwork. It's literally the foundation for that person's entire future with your company. And getting it right? Well, that might just be one of the smartest things your business can do. All right, let's dive in.
So I've got a question for you, and it's a tough one, but you gotta ask it. The thing is, the data, well, it shows that for most companies out there, the answer is a big, resounding yes. A really bad onboarding experience, it can plant these little seeds of doubt and disengagement right from day one. And just like that, it's undermining all the hard work you did to attract that amazing talent in the first place.
Okay, this number right here, it should be a major wake-up call. According to Gallup, only 12%, just 12, of employees think their company actually does a good job with onboarding. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That means a whopping 88% of new hires are kicking things off with a pretty mediocre experience. That is just a massive, massive missed opportunity.
All right, so why should you care so much about this? Well, because onboarding isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have HR task. No way. It has a direct, and I mean measurable, impact on your bottom line. The stakes here are just incredibly high. And the difference between getting it right and getting it wrong? You can measure that in retention, in productivity, and in cold, hard cash.
I mean, the difference between good and bad onboarding it's like night and day. If you get it wrong, you're looking at people leaving really early. We're talking up to 20% of all turnover happens in just the first 45 days. And that costs a fortune to fix. But if you get it right, well, you kickstart this amazing cycle of people staying and performing at a high level right from the get-go.
So, let's talk about the reward, the upside. A really strong onboarding process can improve your new hire retention by a massive 82%. 82%! That's not just about stopping people from quitting early, it's about building a real foundation of loyalty, literally from day one.
And it doesn't stop there. It's not just about retention. That same study found that a great onboarding process boosts productivity by over 70%. So think about it. Your new folks aren't just sticking around. They're actually becoming valuable, contributing members of the team way, way faster. It's this powerful 1-2 punch for your company's growth.
Okay, so I think we've established the why. The case is pretty clear, right? So now let's get practical and talk about the how. What does a successful onboarding program actually look like? Well, I can tell you what it's not. It's not a single event. It's a whole structured process, like a blueprint, designed to turn that new hire into a happy, thriving, long-term employee.
You see, a great program is really a journey. It's not some one-day info dump. It actually starts before the first day with something called pre-boarding, which gets people excited. Then, sure, you move through orientation and the specific role training, but, and this is so important, it doesn't stop there. The best programs are all about integrating people into the culture, doing continuous check-ins, and making sure all their tech just works. Every single piece builds on the one before it.
Now let's talk about those first 45 days, because this is where the stakes are the highest. This is the make or break period. People are making up their minds fast. By the end of the very first month, something like 70% of new hires have already decided if they see a long-term future with you. With so many people leaving in this window, this is the one time you absolutely cannot afford to mess up.
So if there's one secret ingredient in this whole blueprint, it's this. Onboarding is not just an HR thing. You can't just hand it off. The single most important person in this whole process is the new hire's direct manager. Seriously, when they're deeply involved, the entire experience just transforms.
And just how big of a transformation are we talking about? 3.4 times bigger. A new hire is over 3 times more likely to call their onboarding a success if their manager is engaged. That's not a minor adjustment, folks. That is the single biggest lever you can possibly pull to make this work.
Okay, so let's fast forward. You've invested in a fantastic onboarding process. Now what? Well, the good news is the benefits don't just magically stop after 90 days. Not even close. A strong start creates this amazing positive ripple effect that you'll feel for years, impacting that employee's whole career and, honestly, the health of your entire organization.
I'm telling you, this initial investment, it pays dividends for years to come. This isn't just some short-term boost. What you get is sustained high performance because it's built on a rock-solid foundation. You get people who are way more aligned with your culture. Your employer brand gets a boost, which helps you attract even more great people. And maybe most importantly, you're building your company's future leaders.
right from day one.
And look, if you need just one more number to really drive home the long-term impact, here it is. Get this. A well-onboarded employee is 18 times more likely to feel deeply committed to their organization. 18! That's the difference between an employee who just clocks in and out and someone who is truly, deeply bought into your mission.
Which, brings us right back to where we started. When you look at all this evidence, the conclusion is just crystal clear. If you're thinking of onboarding as just some administrative chore or another line item on a budget, you're making a huge mistake. It is, without a doubt, one of the first and one of the absolute best investments you can make in your people.
Let me put it as simply as I can. Onboarding is like the soil where your company's talent grows. A really great program gives new hires all the nutrients they need to grow deep roots and really flourish. It's not an expense. It's the foundation for literally everything else that comes after.
So at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one choice. Every single person you hire is an opportunity. So you have to ask yourself, are you building a solid foundation for them so they can succeed and grow with you for years to come? Or is your process, maybe without you even realizing it, basically a revolving door, just showing them the way out? The answer to that question is going to define the future of your entire company.